Robert the Bruce Day, electrolytes. Robert the Bruce, Albert Nobel. You know, in Sweden, he was granted his first patent in Sweden in 1863. Alfred Nobel. Don't talk to me about no Alfred Nobel. I know everything there is. Robert the Bruce. He didn't know Alfred Nobel directly, but through a friend of a friend. Robert the Bruce was born in 1322. No. Chuck Yeager breaks the sound barrier in the Bell XS-1 in California. That was 1947, October 14th. October 14th, 1863. During the Civil War, Alfred Nobel got his first patent from Sweden in preparation for blasting oil, which is interesting because that's the Sobranio Ascanio Sobrano. 1322, October 14th. Robert the Bruce he defeats Edward Longshanks, the Second Battle of Old Byland, and he wins Scottish independence. So, really, this should be the Scottish Independence Day. The day of Scottish independence. Robert the Bruce defeats Edward II, Battle of Old Byland, 1322, and wins Scottish independence. In 1912, Teddy Roosevelt was shot by a guy named Shrink. But did Teddy Roosevelt shrink from giving his speech? No, sir, Bob. Teddy Roosevelt kept on talking. Kept on talking. Kept on talking. Kept on talking. 1993, Dr. Michael J. Walsh of the Howard Hughes Medical Institute announced that cystic fibrosis can be corrected by gene therapy. That was 1993, October 14th. October 14th, 1910, you had Claude Graham White. Claude Graham White landed his plane near the White House. 1910. October 14th, 1840. You had a German physicist who was born. He investigated the properties of electrolytes, substances that conduct electricity in solutions by transfer of ions, and contributed to the understanding of their behavior. Some of Kohlrausch's pioneering achievements include conductivity measurements on electrolytes, his work on the determination of basic magnetic and electrical quantities, and the enhancement of associated measuring technologies. Kohlrausch, like Kohl's department store, and Roush, like Roush the Douche. Shut up. Oh, Roush the Douche. In 1806, Napoleon defeated Prussia at the Battle of Jena Auerstedt. Jena Auerstedt. And that 1806 Battle of Jena Auerstedt is actually going to get the Germans to get a educational system to brainwash their people so that way they'll be proud to fight in the German army. Because the French, they're ready to die for Napoleon since essentially France was leading the world. They were the, main motherfuckers all over the world. But when Napoleon defeated Prussia like they weren't shit in 1806, and then Prussia got their shit together, and they, the university system is, there's a brilliance to it, there's a stupidity to it, but there's also a brilliance to it. And because they started the university system, they've been able to figure out a lot of shit before the rest of us. But a lot about the university, that's a bunch of bullshit too, so. Haynes. Guy named Haynes was born October 14th. 1857, an inventor. He built one of the first successful gasoline-powered automobiles in 1886. When natural gas was found in his hometown of Portland, Indiana, Haynes, Haynes, organized a company to supply it to the town. He devised a method to dehydrate the gas prior to its being pumped through the lines. Also, in 1886, he invented a small vapor thermostat used on natural gas. In 1893, he purchased a gasoline engine and designed a horseless carriage. When Haynes was searching for an alloy that would make a durable spark plug electrode. He invented stellite alloy, which invention is still contributing to society today. Harder than steel and resistant to corrosion, this metal now plays an important part in fabrication of aeronautical materials suitable for exploration of outer space. Haynes. In 1885, after 15-year-old Jean-Baptiste Jupille, Jupille, was severely bitten while with his bare hands, he killed an attacking rabid dog to protect 5 other young shepherds in Villers-Farlay, France. He shortly became the second person treated by Louis Pasteur's experimental vaccine for rabies. He was fortunate to be taken to Pasteur's laboratory. Pasteur's collaborator, Emile Roux, Roux, had thought of attenuating the power of the infection by exposing strips of fresh spinal marrow taken from a rabbit that had died of rabies to dry, sterile air for various lengths of time. The vaccine was a small piece of marrow ground up and suspended in sterilized broth. It had first been used on Joseph Meister on July 6, 1885. By April 12, 1886, 726 people had been treated. The Private Science of Louis Pasteur by Gerald L. Geeson is a book. Winnie the Pooh is published 1926, October 14th. And Winnie the Pooh, and Winnie the Pooh, and Christopher Robin too, and Christopher Robin too. And then you also have that damn rabbit. And then you had that damn Eeyore. And then that damn piglet. You know who was born today? Not just Winnie the Pooh, but Usher, Eisenhower, and Cansuddere. Cansudere. Cansuddere. 1066 AD, the Battle of Hastings. William the Conqueror and his Norman army defeat the English forces of Harold II, who is killed in battle. Whoops! That's one way to help out the English. Just take them over. William the Conqueror and the Normans defeated Harold II. Harold II! Harold! J. Craig Venter, born October 14th, 1946, American molecular geneticist who pioneered the use of automated gene sequencers. In 1990, he developed expressed sequence tags, ESTs, a new strategy for gene discovery and tagging that revolutionized the biological sciences. In 1995, Venter, in collaboration with Hamilton Smith, determined the DNA sequence of the entire genome, all the genetic material of an organism of Haemophilus influenzae, a bacterium that causes earaches and meningitis in humans. The achievement marked the first time that the complete sequence of a free living organism had been deciphered. It was accomplished in less than a year. He founded the Institute for Genomic Research, TIGR. William Edwards Deming, he was born 1900, October 14th, known as the father of total quality management. And Ford, Xerox, GM. Basically, Japan was doing this, and they just copied Japan. Quality management, it's just a middle management person looking over the shoulder of everybody else's work. Is your work quality? I know you came here and did some work, but is that quality work? So, yeah, they added another layer of bureaucracy. So there you go. There you go. Alfred Nobel, Robert the Bruce, Chuck Yeager, breaking the sound barrier, 1947. Wait, wasn't there another? Claude Graham White landing his plane next to the White House. Louis Pasteur doing secret experiments with rabies. Did he cure this 15-year-old Jean-Baptiste of his rabies? 726 people had been cured. And if you could cure it in people, can you cure it in dogs? Yeah.